Hello and welcome to my Elite Dangerous, the day-to-day grind, preparing for fleet carriers, cargo missions, Sothis and Ceos. It's kind of all that. Frontier on March the 26th announced the fleet carriers were on schedule for June and that they would cost $5 billion just to get into a fleet carrier. Well, that got many people that are close or not even close to the $5 billion in their balance to say, I need to raise funds. I need to raise credits. How am I going to do that? Well, that's what my videos are for. My videos is to give you information about the fleet carriers and to help you find out the best way, that is for me, to collect credits. And what I want to show you here, I have 7.194 basically of credits. So if I was able to buy a fleet carrier today, I would have pretty close to 2.2 billion left. And I'm going to show you how I make credits. Now, upgrades are extra. In the perfect world for me, yes, the 5 billion gives you a 16 bay megaship, really is what it gives you. It's kind of like a home base for you and your friends that you allow on that ship. And that's pretty cool. I don't really need 16 bays. I have 3 ships. I have a small, a medium, and a large. The small is the original Sidewinder that you can't sail. The other one that I'm not currently in is the Cutter, and I've probably got a total of about $1 billion in that one. I don't use it as much because I'm interdicted so often, and it is not as agile as this being the Python. So I have 3 ships. Well, I really only need 3 bays. I don't need 16. So maybe I can trade in some of the bays for extra fuel tanks. See, that would be nice if you could load up enough tanks that you could make the trip out to Colonia, which is 22,000 light years outside of the bubble. Well, that would be pretty cool. The fleet carrier has a 500 light year range, but it has to cool down in between each jump. So it would take 44 jumps plus the cool down time between each jump. And we don't know what that cool down time is or how long that is. I'm sure it's not in seconds. I'm sure it's either in minutes or hours between each jump. They also, the big kicker here, there is an upkeep charge. Just like this station is on 24/7. Well, it's using resources 24/7. And what Frontier has hinted, your fleet carrier will use resources 24/7. Okay, so how much is that? What's the cost of those resources? If I leave the game for, say, a week or a month and don't come back, what happens? That fleet carrier could still be using resources, maybe up to or more $1 million or million credits a day. Now, I'm going to show you, we average over 12 million per round trip on our cargo missions. So I could, if I wasn't doing videos and doing editing and all of that, I could do almost 500 million or $500 million a day in cargo missions. Well, if it's $1 million a day and say 365 million for a whole year, hey, I'd go for that. Because I could grind for one day and have all the resources I need for a whole year for my fleet carrier. Now, I play solo. So why should the resources continue if I play solo? It doesn't affect anyone else. My game completely shuts down when I'm not playing. And that's the kicker. You know, people are saying, well, why should it continually use resources when I only do solo mode? And most players only do solo mode. So, you know, that's a big thing there. It uses a material called tritium as fuel. Is that deep core asteroid mining, or is that surface asteroid mining? What is that? Those are answers that we're looking for. And also, they hint, Frontier is hinting that you can buy the material too. Okay, does a tanker come out and fill up your fleet carrier, or do you have to make cargo runs back and forth? That's why I'm keeping my cutter, just in case I have to park next to a station, go in with my cutter and come out and land on my fleet carrier to load all the fuel before a Colonia, for an example, trip. So there's a lot of questions that we have that need answers. On April the 2nd, this is March the 31st, April the 2nd is the first of the beta testing. In the past, when beta testing comes up in my launcher, it always shows beta test for such and such update. Well, it's going to, I'm sure, say fleet carrier beta test on April 2nd. Well, I want to do a first look and unboxing of the fleet carrier for you on April 2nd. It's not going to be live. I don't do live streams because I have allergies and I cough, and I don't want to cough in your ear. And so that's what takes some of the time too, is to take out my coughs because of my springtime allergies. So I'll record them, and then I'll produce videos. Probably for the next several weeks we'll be doing videos on that fleet carrier, the ins and outs and look-arounds and all of those things. So yeah, there's a lot to look forward to, and in May there's going to be another beta test. The one on April 2nd is only for PC users, and the one in May is for PC users and all the others, like Xbox and whatever game system you use to play Elite Dangerous. And then in June would be available for purchase. Another question is, what if you get tired of all the upkeep cost and you want to sell it? Can you sell it back to wherever you buy it from? So that'll be another question. And a little about my setup. I use the Oculus Rift S. It's 4K and it works great most of the time. Its tracking sensors are in the headset, and sometimes it just loses tracking and will drive you crazy because the screen goes hazy. And normally when I move my head back and forth, the items don't supposed to move with my head. They're supposed to stay still while I'm moving. Well, when it loses its tracking, they slightly move too, and that drives you really crazy. One thing I do like about the VR headsets, if you don't have one today, you feel inside the game. You feel engulfed in it. It feels like it's 3306 and you're sitting in a spaceship and you're flying around the galaxy, because you don't see anything around you except for the game. A thing I like to do, I like to turn my chair and look behind me, and you can see everything behind me, a 360 view of the inside of my ship. Now, I can't get up and walk well, I can get up and walk toward that door, but I don't believe it opens because I don't have enough space in the place I play to be able to do that, to get up and walk over there. But that's called space legs, and eventually Frontier says we're going to have space legs. So we can walk around. You can be sitting down, but then you can get up and walk around in the game while you're still sitting down. So that would be really neat. And also they're talking about planetary home stations. So I want to bring all of that to you. So subscribe to my channel in the bottom right hand corner so you can see all those things. So I wanted to give you a full update of what I know so far. And make sure that you subscribe to my channel and you'll get to see all of these. Well, my videos are, the viewership is up by over 500%, and I'm sure it's because of the fleet carrier information and how to run cargo and make enough funds or credits to support it. On Thursday I had 6.3 billion. I've almost made $1 billion since then. And even doing the videos, like I can do roughly 250 million a day while I'm doing videos. Because of all the editing and everything that's involved, I can only do about 250 million per day. But if I'm not doing videos, like for you, if you were just grinding, I can make about 500 million or $500 million per day if I just grind it out. Now it gets really boring just doing the same thing over and over and over for hours and hours, but it can be done. It's not quite as boring since I'm doing the videos because I'm talking to you and explaining things, and so I can do up to about 5 of these a day, so these videos. So like I said, please subscribe. Underneath this video in the description, at the bottom of that description, is opportunities to donate. Please consider donating. This is a major undertaking, creating over 485 videos and spending all this time and hardware and software and microphones and all kinds of equipment that we need and all those things to make all of this work. So be sure to consider donating to the cause. And underneath the video to the left, you'll see my YouTube channel, GFM_RDG, where you can watch more of those 485 additional videos that I have. Yeah, you see that gray box moving. That's actually on outside the ship, and that is a wake from a hyperspace or a super cruise wake on the outside. So why am I seeing that on the inside? But you do. So okay, well, we need to get to Sothis mining, where I think we have Sysrite, and I use voice attack, and sometimes I have to tell it twice, where I map keyboard, mouse, and some controller functions to voice. Yeah, I have 2 units going back to Sothis mining. So we're going to carry those back, drop those off, pick up a full load, and deliver those, and we should reach 7.2 billion on this round trip. So let's get started. Again, watch more of my videos. I have interdiction videos, like 7 interdictions in one Super Cruise run, and people said they've never seen that before. Well, I have 2 videos on 7, and I have a video on 6.
Landing gear retracted.
Docking clamps retracted. Observe station regulations on exit.
On 6 interdictions also, I have a video just a few videos ago where an anaconda right in front of me while we're trying to leave the station gets totally blown up by the station. Check that out, it's pretty wild. Okay.
Frameshift drive charging.
Now we're going to get ourselves to Sothis. I have planetary videos where we're running around planets, we're hunting skimmers and shooting them, because I'm not a big combat guy.
3, 2, 1, engage.
I don't like, taking on ships and things. I'm a trader explorer. I have 2 elite statuses, one in trade and one in exploring. But my combat is only 18% competent. So if you're not a super combat person, but you would like to have some combat rank, watch my skimmer hunting videos where we run around the planet and shoot stinger skimmers and guardian skimmers. And the engineer videos to mod your ship, because you need a comfortable ship, one that you're comfortable with. It's very agile. You can take on interdictions and things like that. So you need to modify your shields, your engine, your thrusters, your FSD drive. Sis left. I use Super Cruise Assist here in Sothis, but not in Ceos because of all of the interdictions. Sometimes I'll turn it on, but it's been a frenzy, which you'll see when we get back to Ceos with a full load. It gets kind of crazy. So, like FSD, I have a jump, a light year jump of about 52 unladen, and I can consistently get 45 when I'm loaded for travel, because I have a Guardian FSD booster. I have a video on a Guardian surface site that talks you through, or shows you, because that was my first time at the Guardian surface site when I did that video. But it wound up giving me a FSD booster through the whole experience. So it was pretty crazy. Those Guardian Sentinels, they're kind of rough. Now, if I went back, I understand it more and things like that, it wouldn't be quite as rough, but it was pretty crazy. And then I have a Thargoid surface site where we picked up meta alloys, and that was pretty creepy. Those scavengers, mechanical scavenger things that they have, that was pretty creepy. And you're always wondering if a Thargoid ship was going to show up at any moment, which I'm sure they could. I don't like being so close to the planet when I'm trying to get to the dock, get to the orbital station. So sometimes I like to come in kind of head on with the station where the planet's behind me. For one, you got a gravitational pull from the planet, and I'm not excited to have to deal with that. It really slows you down, and if you get interdicted at the time you're beside the planet, most of the pirates try to ram you into the planet. So that's, to me, is not a good thing. So I will, if one popped in behind us, because see, pirates have superpowers that the rest of us don't have. They can pop in right behind you, just out of thin space. And you and I can't do that, but they can. Sis left. And we have ships that try to beat us in requesting docking. And I don't speed.
Docking request granted.
So at 7.50 kilometers, we have to do the request. Well, for one, I'm not looking for a fine, so I try not to speed. And people I know say that they've never gotten a speeding ticket, even though the game says you can. So I don't know.
Landing gear deployed.
But there's all kinds of drama in this game. There is drama everywhere. like seeing an anaconda being blown up right in front of you while you're inside a large station. You should watch that video. It's just a few videos
Docking successful.
ago.
Engines disengaged.
Okay, I had to check some things. Well, at least Oculus is getting a little bit better because I took my headset off for a moment, put it back on, and it didn't totally freak out like it used to do. And I have to just completely restart my Oculus software and all of that. So they have fixed a few things, but the tracking they still need to work on. Okay, we got to get a little over 6 million. We do have the small mission that we picked up to bring back here, so that'll get it down to about 4.5 million. So now it's easy. Sys, right? And just make sure our cargo hold is empty, and like I said, I use voice attack, so I'm able to bring up my panels without just looking at them, because they get in the way when you just look at them sometimes. That's a Brunel. I like these little 2 and 3 because they take very little. I don't like that like sun coming over a planet means it's planetary. I don't like those because of all the interdictions, or I would take those because they'll try to ram you into the planet, and I don't really like that. I want to take the big missions first. Are those little 56 ones that are like 2.5 million? I like those too. See, that's not terrible, but it's not great. Sys view. Sys view. Shouldn't be able to see my chest, and I was seeing the chest of this avatar, and it's like to reset the view. So we're looking for big missions first before we take on the missions that we're going to do, and we're just going to accept them. We're not going to load them yet. And that one's going to Babbage. Like I said, I like those little ones. I don't like what you're fixing to hear where it says it's got a mission critical message, and see, let me come down see how it throws you up to the top? I hate that. It messes you up when you're trying to find and click on missions. See, there's a lot of things that are broken, that it's nice having content, new content like fleet carriers, but there's so much that needs to be fixed. Problem is, when you bring it to Frontier's attention, a lot of times they'll say, well, the game's working as intended. So is it intended to be an obstacle course and to frustrate you as much as possible? See, that's my thing. And the missions are starting to wind down. And I think it's because I share it with so many people. So there's so many people out here at Sothis and Ceos running missions because they can make so many credits that it slows it down, and people gripe at me all the time. Don't share Sothis and Ceos so much because it really hurts the missions. Yeah, it might, but I share everything with my viewers. If you view my videos, I'm going to share everything with you. Whatever I find, I'm going to share it with you, no matter what the consequences are. I can find other systems that, it doesn't last as long, maybe only a couple of days, but I can still run missions. And now I can still run missions within Ceos. The pirates will go crazy, even worse than they are going from Sothis to Ceos, but I can still find missions. So, yeah. No, you're going to hear everything. Okay. Sys left. We have 12 missions right now, and that's part of the reason I like to go ahead and accepting them. When you can have up to 20, but when it gets down to about 10 or 12, yeah, why don't we just select them all and then come back. So it doesn't really matter. We're only needing about 4.5 million, so I can take this oldest one to Brunel, and it's a Boom Palladium 105 120. And I could do New Dawn and probably pick up 12 plus, but I don't really have to do that because all I need to get to 7.2 is the 4.5. Sys left, but your cargo missions have expiration, like it's 7.5 hours. I like taking the oldest ones first. So we're going to Brunel. That's a New Dawn. That's a New Dawn. That's a New Dawn. That's a New Dawn. See, there's a Brunel, which is a 2 unit. Let's check all the small units. Brunel. Babbage. Okay. Sys left. Go back to picking the oldest ones. See, we have this one, Brunel. And then New Dawns. Still saying Brunel, and it says I hadn't picked it up. Deliver 2 units of Rutil. Okay, that's the Brunel. Sys left. See, there's an 88 Palladium. See, we should have way more than 4.5 million right now. Sys left. And there's a deliver 120 Palladium. Brunel. And we're just doing it until we run out of space. Sys left. New Dawn. Babbage. Yeah, we've already picked that one up. Babbage. See, that's all of them. So what I'd like to find, Sys right. 53. So we need something in 53. So what I like doing first, I think we did look for any larger missions and we didn't find any. I'm not excited about like 84 for 791. I want to look for a little bit larger. A New Dawn. See, we can take a partial. See, that's Brunel. I mean, the money's not great on it, but might go ahead and accept that, because we don't need that much, and it's going to be a partial anyway.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Okay. Sys left. Let's go ahead and set our destination. Brunel's the first one, and then it's New Dawn, then Babbage, and then Sinclair is the planetary. We're not doing any of the planetary right now. I'm not saying we won't, but at the moment we're not. Okay, we have a destination. Sys up. Now, if you are into combat, see on this one, they'll pay you 135 apiece for killing pirates. I don't like taking on ships because a lot of times they gang up where there's 2 or 3 of them, and that's just not me. Sys right. I'll show you here. Trade rank. Elite 100%, Explorer rank Elite 100%, Combat rank just competent at 18%. Now the next one is Expert. If I get through that 18%, then I go to Expert. I'll tell you right now, I will never be an expert. I don't care if I have the rank. I'm not an expert because I'm not going after ships. My rebuy cost is 3.2 million. So if they kill me, now I haven't been killed since second day I played over 6 months ago. So the chances are slim, but it can happen. Okay, let's get going. Underneath the video, or at the bottom of the video to the right, is the subscribe button. Please press that. I need all the help I can get with YouTube. That's what it does. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me with YouTube.
Landing gear retracted. Ship released. Engines engaged. Frameshift drive charging.
And in the description of this video, at the bottom of it, you'll see options to donate. Please consider donating. We do need donations. This is very costly to put together
Ready
these
to
videos.
engage. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
And underneath the video to the left, as I said before, is my YouTube channel, GFM_RDG, where there's over 485 additional videos for you to watch, and about everything you can think of. Yeah, we're going to Brunel, so that's not very far.
Message.
And if you like watching interdictions, oh, you get plenty. You can watch plenty here. I get interdicted all the time. And there'll be 3 or 4 to 7 of them, so it's just a pain. It's a bother. And I'm trying to decrease my speed while I'm dealing with this thing. Just keep part of the target in the middle. And then sometimes you get a runner like this one, you have to go chase him. They I guess can't run all the time. They can only run for so much of the time, so I have to give you an opportunity to catch them. It's number 3. Like I said, I've had up to 7 of them. And you need to know your equipment. You need to know your ship. You need to know the controller and the commands and all those things before you really attempt to do some of this. You need to maximize the reputation with the factions, which all of mine are 100%. Well, we had 3 or 4. I've already forgot how many. We're fixing to have another one. Speed up slightly. and then I'll increase the speed. And he wants to be a runner. So and sometimes the throttle hangs, and that makes it more difficult, and goes to max throttle and tries to run you into everything. I mean, it's not a simple game. It gets easier as you get more experience with it. And I've got 1,700 hours in this, and that's not bragging. That's most people will say, why in the world have you spent 1,700 hours in this game? Yeah, I ask myself that too. But before I started doing videos, I was really getting bored with it. So videos have helped me to not be as bored. And as I've said before, these pirates have superpowers. They can just pop out of thin space behind you to interdict you. And they can travel across the system in a matter of seconds, where the rest of us can't do that. Sis left.
Romeo Golf, India. The Federation welcomes you.
Incoming
Follow station
mission
protocols
critical
and enjoy your
message.
visit, Commander.
And it's not as picky at these large stations because they got lots of landing pads, so you don't have to worry about somebody taking up all the landing pads. In solo.
Landing permission granted. Vectoring for approach to landing pad 1-1.
Now, in open play,
Automated
yes, I
approach
hear
vectoring.
that you do have trouble finding landing pads because there's so many players playing in open. But most of the players play solo, and that's one of the reasons. There's many reasons. And your opponents, see, all of my opponents have solid boxes on the sensor. If they were hollow, that would mean they're real players. And they say the real players are just much more aggressive, much more capable than the computer-based players. I have enough trouble with computer-based ones. I don't even want to mess with real players in open play.
Touchdown. Thrusters offline. Deploying ground services.
I always do the ship integrity. Yeah, I mean, it costs, but I want my ship to be in top shape since I have to do so many interdictions. We need about 4.6.5, something like that. We should have plenty to get that, to go to 4.2. See, that should do it by itself, just that one. Yep, 7.202. We still got more to deliver. And there's another 4. See, we're already at about 11 million, and we still got more. Another 7. We've done about 18 million. See, you follow me. You'll make the credits. That's why I'm saying, even if for the fleet carriers, if the upkeep was $1 million a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, if you're doing what I'm doing, like I said, if I'm not doing videos, I could do 500 million in a day. I could do over a year's worth of upkeep cost in a day. So, I mean, you can too, but look at my faction reputation on each one of them. They're maxed out. That's how you get the better cargo missions. Is this right? So that's the first thing you do, is you work on your status. Now we got 4 more units to deliver. That's why I like those 2s, because they take such little space. And that was almost 1 million there. So I do like those. Okay. We made about 20 million credits on that run. 20 million on one run. And if you're not talking to someone all the time, you can do it in about 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. 20 million. That's what I'm trying to get across. So watch my videos, subscribe to my channel. I would think it would be very important for you to know how to do it the way I do it too. Now, of course, you're going to work that into your style, because everybody has their own styles. We're not going to Ceos, we're going to Sothis. So now we're going to head back to Sothis. And we're going to see if there's something to Sothis mining that we can take back, so we don't totally waste the trip. But the missions are calming. So we might have to do something a little different. There's a Sothis mining. I like that. It's 4.5 million. It's 4.5 million just on the return trip, and we don't always get cargo on the return trip. But there's all kinds of ways to work this. You can do intra, you can go like to Brunel, and then to Don's Inheritance, and to Sothis mining. So there's lots of things you can do. I mean, there's some pretty good missions here. Is this up? I like keeping that cleared out. Is this left? We're going to go back to Sothis mining now. And then it'll take me about an hour to edit the video and get it published. So as you can see, it takes a long time to publish these things. I have to edit them because I have allergies and I don't want to cough in your ear and that kind of stuff, so I take all that out. Or if I rant way too harshly, sometimes I'll take that out. Okay, we're ready to go back now and complete this video. Make sure you look to the bottom right and select that subscribe button. Press it. It helps me with YouTube. Doesn't cost you anything, but it makes a big difference for me, or will in the future. Underneath the video in the description, there's ways to donate. Please consider donating. We need all the help we can get.
Landing coupler disengaged. You are clear for egress.
And why 20 million on a single run is very important, because these fleet carriers are expensive. They're 5 billion. Upgrades are going to be into the billions. The upkeep can be into the billions. You need credits. So when you can make 20 million on a 15 to 20 minute run, that's very good.
By permission
Frameshift drive charging.
Underneath the video to the left, you'll see my YouTube channel page, GFM_RDG, for over
3,
485 more
1,
videos.
engage.
Material gathering, the engineers, working with them, unlocking them, material traders, so you can move materials around, all those things. Synthesis, now that's pretty cool when you're running around on a planet. Or even you can repair your ship and reload the ammo on your ship from material through synthesis. And that's pretty cool. So I even have a video on synthesis that you should watch. That's very interesting. We're on a planet and we can refuel, reload, repair the SRV on a planet just through the materials that we collect. Is this left? So watch more of my videos. You'll learn a lot, and hopefully it'll be entertaining. Well, we're going to end this video here at Sothis Mining as soon as we get there and unload this one cargo mission that we have coming back to Sothis Mining, and then I run a few missions till we get to the 7.25 billion. Every 50 million I'll do another video. And our viewership is up by over 500% right now, just doing these videos. So if you keep watching them, I'll keep making them. So, and I have plenty of other videos. It's not like this is the only thing I got. It's the only new ones at the moment. But I have 485 more videos. There's plenty to watch. Of all kinds of topics and content. And I even do videos on Ultimate Fishing Simulator VR. So you should check that out. Now everything I do is VR. But you should check those out. That's a pretty cool game. It's more reality than fantasy, like Elite Dangerous can be more fantasy than reality. Has the potential to be a great virtual reality game, but and more reality than fantasy, but they decide not to. Make it a pirate haven and pirate fantasy. It's not the way I would do it if I was them. I'd make it more reality. But they don't listen to me, so not everybody feels the way I do. So you can go to the forum and find that, the Frontier Forum, and see that everybody doesn't agree with me. And that's okay. Everybody's an individual. They should play the way they want to play. Is this left?
Docking request granted.
See, I have ships trying to beat me to the request for that medium pad. There is only one medium pad. There's two small pads. They need to have two medium pads too. That's another complaint that I have. Why can't we have multiple medium pads? They could just extend another medium pad out to the left there, the upper left. and that would solve that issue. But sometimes they're not really interested in solving the issue. Like when I complain to Frontier, they say the game is working as intended. Yeah.
Docking successful.
Obstacle course,
Engines disengaged.
not reality. As intended. I do the paint job if it goes under 99%. And we have one mission coming back here. We'll deliver that one, and then that'll be the end of this video. I think it was like 4.5 million. Yep. So we're at 7221, and you can watch the next video when we are hitting 7250. So until then, thank you for watching.